Yo, what's good, everybody? Today I'm going to talk about the rematch between Fernando Puma Martinez versus Kazuto Ioka. Fun fight, very, very fun fight. I thought the right man won. I think I had it 8-4 for Puma. So with the knockdown included, my score was 115-112 for Fernando Martinez. To be honest, I thought every score the judges had was fair. It could have been 7-5, 8-4, or even 9-3. The judges, in my opinion, were bang on. Most people might disagree. They might think that 9-3 is a little wide, but truthfully, I don't think so. I thought that the rounds Puma won were clearly his, and I'm pretty confident that Puma won rounds 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, and 12. That right there is 8 rounds banked, in my opinion. Now, aside from round 10, which Ioka clearly won, obviously via a knockdown, the remaining rounds, in my opinion, were really close rounds. Like round 2 for me was a tough round to score because Ioka was working behind the jab and doing well, but then Puma would almost fight in bursts where he would explode for a 4, 5, 6 punch combination, and he would overwhelm Ioka. And I just found it difficult to confidently score for either men, you know. In round 8, Ioka finally managed to put on a consistent offensive round where for the most of the round, he was on the front foot, he applied the pressure on Puma and had him on the ropes a couple times too. He had the higher volume and he was the ring general for the round, right? But in the same token, to me, it looked as though Puma landed the cleaner shots. So again, another round that's difficult to judge. Round 11 was the round after Ioka hurt and dropped Puma. In this round, Ioka had an extra pep in his step. You know, he looked livelier, he looked a little more spry. And again, he controlled most of the round. He fought from distance and sort of just boxed around Puma, who was still recovering. But Puma finished stronger and landed them more eye-catching shots. You know, so these 3 rounds were really close rounds in my opinion. And I ended up giving it all to Ioka. But there's still not enough to win the fight, you know. But let's talk about round 10, where Ioka dropped Puma with a left hook. What a shot, man. As Puma was trying to close a gap, Ioka throws and misses a straight right. Puma throws a counter left hook, which lands, but Ioka also threw a left hook, and that landed as well, but it was thrown with better balance, so the impact was far greater, and it hit Puma right on the button. This buzzed Puma for a microsecond. His brain definitely wobbled, but he persevered and threw an overhand right. However, Ioka threw a sharp straight right with Puma while slipping to his left side. Ioka's right connected, again right on the button, and he instantly followed it up with a left hook. All 3 punches that landed in that sequence were right on the chin, and down goes Puma. Now, mind you, this whole sequence was with Puma coming forward, so the impact was tremendous. He was hurt, no doubt about it. So the fact that Puma beat the count, you know, gathered himself, kept his composure, and survived Ioka's assault afterwards was crazy, because he wasn't just ducking and dodging and blocking. You know, he was swinging with Ioka, and he was landing cleaner too. This man's power of recovery is on another level. Round 10 was a spectacular round, but I reckon round 12 was even better. These two showcased a tremendous heart, both clearly gassed, but they kept up and just swung for the fences, man. Although not as quite as scintillating, it was very reminiscent of the Eubank Jr. versus Conor Benn fight just a couple weeks back. Not as exciting, but a more technically sound slugfest. It was a very entertaining round that I thought Puma had the better of. But like I said, the rest of the rounds were clearly won by Martinez. Ioka is good, right? He's really damn good. I think it's fair to say that in this fight he was the more technical boxer. He stayed true to the fundamentals of the game. He opted to pick his shots and box behind the jab, and overall he just fought a conventional fight. He fought well, but I thought Puma was just better. You know, both are crafty, both showed their veteran savvy, but Puma was just craftier. He was more creative. To me, it looked like he was just always one step ahead of Ioka. He was tricky offensively and defensively. Like, he would throw unexpected shots from awkward angles and he would often land. His jab was also really successful. Multiple times did he snap Ioka's head back. And he's very elusive. He would stand right in front of Ioka, hit him with something he doesn't see. But Ioka just could not hit this man clean. He couldn't touch him, at least not often enough. Puma made it a point to start first during exchanges and finish last. And his technique inside is almost flawless. His short, compact hooks are so accurate and effective. To me, he definitely won most of the exchanges inside. His shots just found the mark and he would somehow evade everything else Ioka was throwing. He wasn't flashy or anything either. His defensive prowess doesn't get a reaction from the crowd. But then you look at the replay and you see that he's landing shots on Ioka while ducking and dodging and slipping everything else Ioka is throwing at him. It was honestly magnificent how he can seamlessly blend his offense and defense. And his long-winded combinations too. Oh my goodness. I just know that those long combinations are a nightmare to deal with. There were a number of assaults that Puma would launch where he would just throw a barrage and Ioka would defend himself well for the first 4 or 5 punches. He would block or slip them, but Puma just extends his flurries to 6, 7, 8 punch combinations. And the final 2 or 3 punches would just catch Ioka off guard and overwhelm him. You know, the volume was just too much for Ioka at times. Martinez is something else. He is super talented. So overall, I thought Martinez's quality of work throughout the entirety of the fight was just better. He outworked and outlanded Ioka, and he landed the cleaner, bigger, eye-catching shots, and his defense was superb as well. Don't get me wrong, both men fought well, but Martinez was just that much better that night. You know, I really need to see Puma versus the winner of Bam and Cafu. Admittedly, of course, I'd prefer Bam to win because I think Puma versus Bam would be fireworks. They need to fight and unify and figure out who the man is at 115. All right, so that's it for me. What did you think of the fight? What do you think Ioka should do next? What do you think of the score? You know, as for Ioka, that's back-to-back defeats to the same man now. And he is 36 years old. Should he hang it up? You know, what do you think? Leave it all down in the comments below. And please leave a like and subscribe. And I really do want to thank you so much for watching. And I hope you have a lovely day.